Music promotion was freaking hard until I discovered these three things. Hey, it's John here. If you're new to my channel, I'm the founder of one of the largest music promotion platforms in the world called Hyped. I'm an independent music artist with over 12 million streams on Spotify. But what's most important, I've helped over 10,000 artists and bands grow their music to over 100 million streams together on Spotify. In today's video, I want to share three things that I discovered and that completely changed the way I approach music promotion. What these three things allowed me to do is go from feeling confused about how I should promote my music and often just hoping for results to getting a constant, predictable, guaranteed stream of new Spotify listeners and fans for my music. So if you're struggling to get consistent results or you feel overwhelmed by all the advice out there, then this is for you. Let's dive into the first discovery. Precise goals win. One of the first things I ask music artists when they come to me for help is, what's your goal? And often I hear answers like, I just want more people to hear my music, or I want a bigger audience. I get those goals. That's how I would have described it when I started out. But the problem is that these are abstract goals, and you can't really build a strategy around them. You could get more people to hear your music on Spotify, on Apple Music, radio, or live. They could listen to your song directly, or in movies, TV shows, or games. See how broad this is? Without a clear target, it's impossible to develop a good strategy. On the other hand, let's say a goal is, I want to reach 1 million Spotify streams in the next 12 months. Now we're talking. This kind of precise goal can help me focus all my efforts. I can break it down into smaller steps, like figuring out how many releases I need, how much promotion I need for each release, and how algorithmic streams can play into those numbers. With a clear goal, it's just easier to reverse engineer a strategy. For instance, let's say my goal is to get 1 million streams in 12 months, and I plan on releasing 12 songs. Then I will need to average about 83,000 streams per track. Okay, now I can ask, how can I promote each track to hit that number? I could plan out my promotion budget, my promotion tactics, and what metrics to focus on, all tailored to achieving that specific target. So the point is, the more specific my goal is, the more targeted my strategy can be. And when I got a laser-focused strategy, I increase my chances of success. Discovery number 2 is simple data wins. One thing I see a lot is artists getting overwhelmed by data. When you're promoting your music, especially if you're running ads, you'll come across a ton of metrics, impressions and reach and click-through rates, cost per click and more. But not all metrics are equally important. And if you focus on too many of them, it's easy to miss what really drives more listeners, streams, and fans on Spotify. So what I do is simplify the data I look at. I focus on just 3 key metrics that have the biggest impact on my music's growth on Spotify. The first metric is cost per click on my smart link page. Now, this is not the same as cost per click you see in your ad platform. Instead, it's the cost of actually getting people into Spotify. If you just look at the cost per click on your ad, that includes people who clicked on it by accident, and that happens. But what I want to know is the cost per click just for those who want to check out my music on Spotify with intent. I care about this number because it tells me how efficiently I'm moving people towards streaming my music on Spotify. The second metric is engagement rate, which measures how many people who land on my smart link page actually click through to Spotify. If this number is high, I know the campaign is doing a great job of driving really interested listeners over to my music. If it's low, it's often an indicator for me that my song isn't as popular as I hoped, which happens, or I'm not reaching the right audience yet. The third metric I focus on is Spotify's popularity score. It's a score from 0 to 100 assigned to every song on Spotify, and it tells me how close I am to cracking the algorithm. The higher the popularity score, especially for values above 20, the more likely I am to get placement on algorithmic playlists like Discover Weekly and Spotify Radio. Hey, John here, interrupting myself real quick to talk about getting real listeners, streams, and fans on Spotify fast. Look, if you've been grinding away at music promotion, but you aren't seeing the results, I've been there. Any promo method you can think of, I've tried it. Playlist promotion, social media, hire a promoter, I've done it. But nothing works like music ads on Instagram and Facebook that grow my fan base on Spotify 24/7, even when I sleep. And the fastest way to launch these ads is with the Spotify Growth Switch, a new system that uses AI to launch Spotify promo campaigns in seconds. It works for any genre and it is so easy, just like flipping on a spotlight switch for your music. And here's the best part. Right now, it's 90% off. That means you can get $180 of value for just $17. And then watch your Spotify listeners and streams grow non-stop just for giving this a try. To check out the Spotify Growth Switch, simply click the link below in the description. And now back to the video. And so these three metrics, cost per click, engagement rate, and popularity score, are what I mainly focus on. And that's because they are directly tied to the success I want on Spotify, which is more listeners, streams, and fans, and algorithmic support. So by simplifying the data, I can quickly identify which campaigns are working and which ones may need adjustments. And this then helps me to allocate my budget more effectively and ultimately grow faster. And here's my third and possibly most important discovery: commitment wins. A lot of people misunderstand what commitment really means, in my opinion. They think being committed is about how much they want something, maybe even how much time they spend on something. But desire or time alone aren't enough. To me, commitment is about eliminating alternatives and sticking to one strategy long enough to see results. It's easy to understand that if you think about what it means in a committed relationship with a partner. It's about eliminating alternatives. But when it comes to music promotion, here's what I often see. Artists try one strategy for a week, and when they don't get immediate results, they switch to another. Then after another week, they try something else. So this constant switching makes it impossible to gain momentum. Think about it. Anytime you start something new that you've never done before, there's a learning curve. It's just unlikely that your first attempt at anything new, again, that you've never done before, will be super successful. Let's say you decide to promote your music through social media. How likely is it that your very first post will go viral? Not very, right? It's not very likely. Even artists who've grown huge audiences through social media have been at it for years. They've posted hundreds, sometimes thousands of pieces of content before seeing real growth. Now, it's easier with ads. They work much faster, but even then, your first ad campaign probably won't be your most successful one ever. And that's because you get better results over time as you learn and as the algorithm learns more about your fans. And that's why commitment is so important. It's about picking a strategy that you've seen work for lots and lots of artists, so you know it can work, there's proof, and then sticking with it long enough so that it starts working for you too. And this doesn't mean blindly sticking to a tactic that isn't working. It means committing to learning and improving over time. Even if your first few campaigns don't perform well, you'll gather data, make adjustments, and get better with each repetition. Success isn't an accident, it's the result of focused, consistent effort. And so there you have it. 3 things that I discovered that made music promotion easy and results predictable. Set precise goals, focus on simple metrics, and get committed. With that said, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and the bell buttons below so you can get more videos like this on YouTube. And if you're curious about how to set up ads that grow Spotify listeners, streams, and fans non-stop in easy mode, then check out this video here right next to me where I break it down click by click. See ya!